Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk. Pleased to be joined by my guest, Hannah Limmer, stud softball coach over at old Lubbock Cooper Liberty, former stud player at the old high school. We're just kind of all Cooper all the time here. She's athletic coordinator over there, just does all kinds of things with dealing with Coach Sexton, right? Yes. We've taken many a road trip together. Yeah, like we're buds. And producer and engineer Colton Coons behind the camera taking care of us as always. So, I was talking to, Coach Kello about baseball and inaugural season. We've talked to all these Liberty coaches about, the first and getting started and all that. Nobody's dealt with a situation like you're dealing with right now, and I'll get into that in a second. But the newness of this is fun and probably nerve-wracking. But everybody, I guess, in every other sport has had like their full complement for the most part of players, or enough to kind of practice on that. You're dealing with what, 7 players practicing right now, and you've been practicing for what is it? You're going on the second week now, 2 weeks.
We've done, I guess technically 3 weeks, but one of the weeks was Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so, gotcha. And you're waiting for basketball season to end so you can get to the rest of your players. But this is small school environment, right? This is kind of what we do. We finish one thing before we can start the next. But still, you're trying to get 7 kids ready, and you don't have a. How's it been like trying to practice with 7 kids?
It's
a lot of batting practice?
A lot of batting practice. It's been a challenge, a lot of infield. And everybody's doing, everybody's an outfielder and everybody's an infielder. And we're doing it all one thing at a time.
Okay.
So I have them all in the infield, hitting a lot of fungo and stuff at them, and then I send them all out to the outfield and hit fly balls at them. So everybody's doing everything right now. And but it's been interesting. It's been fun. It's a fun group of kids so far. So.
Good.
It's been good.
Yeah, and everything over there is so new and fresh, and you're getting a chance to kind of build your culture and your roster and order uniforms and all that. It's all brand new. Nobody knows. You don't have a facility yet. Hopefully that is coming next year. Keyword is hope, so
Hopefully.
We'll see. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hope is not a strategy, is what I've often told, but I also tell people keep hope alive, right? So which one is it, Chris? I don't know. Depends on the situation that we need at the time. You had a stellar career at the high school. See, she's like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Seriously though, you're very well thought of in the softball. Like, did you always want to get into coaching? Was this something like, you know what, I want to be around this. I want to do this.
I definitely didn't think I didn't want to, but I also wasn't like, it wasn't my 100% my goal, my career path that I thought I was going to do. I didn't really even figure out athletic. I knew I wanted to do athletic administration, so that's what I got my degree in, and then the coaching kind of just happened. I had an assistant athletic director job in Taiwan, and they had just switched over to fast pitch softball at that school. And the year before I got there, and so my AD there was like, "Well, you have to do it because you're the only person that has fast pitch." So fast pitch
how long did you live in Taiwan?
5 years. Yeah, and then COVID ruined it. So, so now I'm back, but happy to be back.
What took you to Taiwan?
I had family living there first, and so my aunt was working at the same school, and she said. I was finishing up grad school, and she was like, there's a job that's opening up that would be perfect for you if you want to live in another country. I was like, well, I don't have anything else going on, so that's what I did. And I was there for 5 years.
Okay. So many questions. How was that?
It was an experience. I got to travel a whole lot, see a whole lot of cool places, eat a lot of good food. But
were you I mean, okay, like the language barrier,
I was working at an American school, so the kids all speak English. The curriculum's in English.
So you were kind of in a little
in an American,
world.
A little American world with Taiwan around it.
I see.
But
Okay. But when you got outside of that bubble, I'm sure it's like
it was interesting,
overwhelming.
I learned a little bit. They speak Mandarin over there, and I learned just enough to be able to tell a cab driver how to take me where I need to go, and that's about it.
Tell a cab driver in Mandarin right now how to take you to Liberty High School. Can you do that? We're here at central office, so we need to go to.
I mean, I have no idea.
Okay. I mean.
Shui Xiao is school, and that's about all I know.
Okay. Hey, that's more than I knew. That's more than I knew. Best thing you said great food. What do you miss over there? What was really good?
Just dumplings.
Oh, okay.
So many kinds of dumplings.
Yeah,
and you can get them for cheap.
Okay.
Cheap.
Yeah. That is fascinating because I mean, the thought of living outside of our comfort zone and our bubble and all those things is very scary to a lot of people, especially with the way the world is. Just different places are a bit different these days. But yeah, Taiwan for 5 years. So like you're talking. It wasn't like just. I mean, you were like spending Christmases over there, and like.
I mean, I got to come back during Christmas and summer.
Okay.
There was a
so it's
short,
a typical school calendar. Then.
Yeah, there was a short, typical school calendar.
Okay.
There was one Christmas that I had to stay over there because of COVID and quarantine and whatever. But every other long break, I got to come home.
How long's the flight from here to Taiwan? Or
it was. I would usually fly into like San Francisco or something. So that's like 11, 12 hours.
Okay,
and then the 2 extra flights to get me all the way to
Dallas
Lubbock.
and then to Lubbock. Yeah. So it's a hike. Okay, yeah. My mind's blown. We were going to talk softball and new school and all this stuff, and now we're talking Taiwan. But that's part of why we're here and who you are. So you had some experience and administrative experience and all those things which you picked up at an American school in Taiwan. Yes, as we've established, where we were eating dumplings and trying to stay in our comfort zone and trying to tell cab drivers all the things. But you ended up coming back here, and then this opportunity, presented itself. And what made you go, you know what, this is perfect for me?
Really, I mean,
because you know all the people.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, but it wasn't until I was at Lubbock Cooper High School last year. And when softball season ended, I got a text from Joe a couple weeks after softball ended, and he was like, "You want to talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah," because it's the small school environment that was exciting, and getting to work with Joe, and then I've got friends here that have also become coaches. That it's like, well, it would be a really cool place to be. So. That's what happened.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot over there. You're not just the softball coach. You're doing a lot over there. And I told Sherry Colwell, who's the coach over there now, I was like, Hannah's a younger version of you, which is the best compliment I can give each of you. In all seriousness, because you're like all about kids. You're all about like not just your thing, everybody's thing, and all that stuff. And you're everywhere. And I think that's quite the compliment. Okay, so let's talk more softball.
Okay.
You got 7 players. How many will you ultimately add to this thing once other sports end and all that stuff?
I hope I hope I get at least a handful from basketball. I still don't. We'll probably have a small squad in terms of softball and having
just getting going and everything.
3 or 4, maybe 5 subs. But
okay.
I've got some girls that are playing JV basketball right now they tell every time they see me, we're excited for softball,
Okay.
So maybe 5, 6 girls.
Okay.
From the varsity basketball team, I think maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm hoping we have at least 13, 14 kids.
And when does like kind of you want to get going with your season? Because it's different, smaller school versus because you got to schedule it to wait till one sport ends, and that'll take me through.
So we haven't had a scrimmage yet. We have our first one scheduled for this Friday, which I will take the 7. I've got a teammate that an old teammate from WT that I played with who coaches up at Sanford Fritch. She's like, just bring your 7. I'll throw 2 kids out on the field of mine, and just so that they get something
out of
before we have real games.
Okay.
So I've got a couple scrimmages. I've got a couple 2 late scrimmages. So hopefully those basketball kids, they'll be with me by then. So next week, the last week before real games start, we'll have a couple more scrimmages, and then we'll start. First real game is on the 13th.
And you'll be playing your games at the high school, okay? So just like Coach Kello's group and Coach Limmer's group will be doing the same thing over Cooper High School. And again, the hope is that you have your own stadium at this time next year. Hope is the key word there. Strategy or alive. you decide which one we're doing there. Uniforms. Every time we get one of these new coaches in here, we talk about the uniforms. All that's a big deal. See, you're already nodding your head like
they look good.
Okay,
that was
good.
fun.
See?
That was a fun process.
That is. It's like
it was the first thing I did in June or whatever.
I blame Oregon for this back in the day. Oregon football. Just because it's like, and it just became this whole subculture of like you gotta have. The apparel companies love it because everybody's got to have the alternates and the different colors and the whatever. So what did we go with?
We've got some red pinstripes.
Oh, yeah. Pins.
And I never had worn pins as a player. I'm like, you know what? They look good.
Yeah.
And so they're red with the white pinstripes. And then I've got a blue, blue set, navy blue set.
Okay. And then we do the visor.
We've got visor. Visors for softball they're like trendy sometimes, and they're not required like a hat is required for baseball.
Okay.
So, it's kind of up to the personal preference. But, just a white visor.
Okay.
I never wore a visor. I was a catcher, so I had a helmet on constantly. So
Yeah,
I don't get into visors as much, but I know they're a thing now.
It
People
is a
wear
thing.
them.
And the ribbon in the hair is a thing, too.
Yeah, I don't think as much, but it definitely was when I was playing.
Yeah.
We had a different ribbon every game.
You don't want
when
to
I was
wear
in
the
high
ribbon.
school.
Yeah, you don't want to wear the ribbon. It's like that's the thing is like the ponytail and the ribbon and the whole deal. And softball, like in college, it's kind of got a lot of popularity. When Oklahoma's like so there's a lot more televised all that stuff, and it's a lot more. I don't know. I think people are aware of it more now than they used to be, which
it's finally
is good.
getting the credit.
Yeah,
that
I think
been
that's
due
very
for a
fair.
while.
Yeah. Sports in general go in cycles and stuff, but I think popularity of softball is certainly. I don't want to know if it's an all-time high, but it's.
It's pretty close.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are both very good. Texas is very good, and they're the Tex program. So all that helps trickle down.
Yep.
Now, you have a speaking of, you have a fun player on your roster. I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it because we're just freshmen and sophomores here. But Lainey Gibson is somebody that I knew you were aware of and has played a lot of baseball growing up. And her brother Holt was the quarterback at the high school and all that stuff. And she's got to be fun to have as one of your building blocks and all that.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch her just at practice. Because I heard even from last year, well, there's an 8th grader coming up to Liberty. Lainey Gibson, I hadn't seen her even play at all until she was officially on the team for me. So, but she's going to be a really huge part of the squad this year and really big
Pitcher.
asset. She can pitch.
Okay.
I've seen her pitch.
Okay.
She's not naturally a pitcher, but I think we'll have 2 solid pitchers, and Lainey will be one of them, and I've got a freshman, Chloe Edwards, who'll be the other.
Okay.
But they'll take on most of the load of the pitching. So.
Okay. What's your district look like from the standpoint of how competitive will it be?
I think it's going to be pretty competitive.
Okay. Do you like that, or does that make you nervous?
Or
all the above?
Both,
okay,
probably.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. I know that Idalou won the district last year. They had a really solid pitcher that they don't have anymore. So I think, and I wasn't able to see any of those games from last year and be around that district. So I'm not 100% sure what it's going to look like and how we're going to compete with every single team, but it's going to be exciting. There's going to be competitive teams.
What's the one thing that Coach Colwell maybe you learned from her on how to not just coaching but just running a program, whatever, that you were around that you can bring to make it your own? Is there anything?
Just kind of deciding what you want to, have your own strategies and your plans, and just go with it. It doesn't matter what outside people are going to say about your program or your team. You're all one unit, and you just do what you do.
And you're only going to have this is just the one team. There is no JV
this year.
Do you have an assistant?
I do.
Okay.
Randy Damel, who's
Randy,
currently also with basketball,
yeah.
waiting for Randy to get done with basketball.
Yeah, Randy.
But
she's a good soldier, man. She does. She helped out. Yeah, she's helped out with a variety of different things over there. Yeah, she's a small school as well. Kind of gets it, understands, and knows a lot of these same girls and all that stuff. So that's good. What if you are putting on paper like my program's mission statement or my program's culture or whatever, what do you want it to be?
I just want us to.
And this may not happen in year one. This is a
Yeah,
process.
but win every battle that you can. We. As a pitcher, you're going to be battling against the batter. The batter, you're going to be battling against the pitcher. Try to win every battle that you can. The small victories, hopefully, will lead into the big victories. Yeah.
This is more of the keep hope alive part of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, I like that. Yeah. Win every battle. And then you end up winning wars. And then when you win wars, they write about you in books and things like that, right? So, yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. And so what, take us through the schedule. Like, you wanted to push your team in the non-district.
Yeah.
And
so that was, as far as non-district.
Because you may take some lumps here.
Yeah.
So
the
explain
non-district, coaching, being an assistant at a 5A school last year, I know all of those 5A coaches. So those were the first, when I'm making the schedule in the summer, those are the people that I'm more familiar with. So our first game is against Canyon High School. And then we only have one preseason non-district game. And then February 27th is our first district game. So we get started with district pretty soon. But in between district games on a bye week, we've got Amarillo High, who beat Lubbock Cooper High School out of the playoffs last year. So it's going to be a challenge. We're going to go to Hobbs for non-district. And, our scrimmages, we're going to scrimmage Plainview. We'll scrimmage Seminole. We'll go down to Seminole and do a scrimmage with them and Sweetwater and Sundown. We have a variety of different teams on our schedule. But, it's going to be a challenge. Hopefully it just prepares us and gets us a
I'm also
spot.
fortunate enough to know your brother Griffin. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Any good stories there growing up? Did y'all ever get in squabbles and everything?
Yeah.
Griffin works at the.
Yeah. I mean, Griffin's the oldest sibling of 3.
Okay. He's good people.
So and he has 2 younger sisters that I wouldn't say beat up on because that sounds bad, but I'm not gonna not say it.
Just did.
But also, I think my sister, the middle child, would probably say we beat up on her or ganged up on her a little bit.
Okay.
So lots of.
You've got a great family. Yeah, but no, Griffin does. He does part of our football broadcasting with Colton, who's behind the camera now and does a phenomenal job. And your dad also involved in some of that. I think we may even twist your dad's arm and get him to broadcast some softball games.
Yeah, you might hear him on the stream.
It's the rumor. Brian Limmer, ladies and gentlemen. We'll put if he says anything wrong, we'll put his email address on the screen right here, and we'll get that going. No, family affair. Seriously, and all kidding aside, I very much appreciate you folks. But anyway, so stay healthy, stay warm. Hopefully you'll have some additions to your roster soon. Yes, I know you.
I'll
it's
be ready.
hard to play the softball with just the 7. Pick up games and all that. Hey, all comers, but it's high school. We can't really do that. So anyway, but I appreciate you spending some time with me. Yeah, and again, she's. At everything over at Liberty High School. She's at the football games and at the volleyball games and the basketball games and all that stuff. But Hannah's been a really good addition over there. So anyway, with that, we will do this again soon and hopefully talk about her expanded roster and a playoff run and all kinds of things if those are in store for us. But for Chris Level, for Hannah Limmer, for Colton Coons, who is behind the camera, this has been another edition of Patriot Talk.